we had obviously the Fed, we had the CPI, PPI, and it almost kind of like reversed some of what we saw from the jobs report literally a week ago. Is the bond bid real this time? I mean, I see, long bonds at 120, 10 years at 110. I mean, I honestly I've resigned to this fact that I don't feel like trading bonds until I get a little more certain about what's going on with rate cuts, et cetera. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So I'm the world's worst bond trader. When the news came out, not this, when they went out the opposite, when they went lower on the 7th or something like that.
Yeah,
they were trading around 118, and Tom said, you think it's time to buy the bonds here? And I was like, I really don't think so. And he didn't. And he sold some puts when it was closer to 117, 117 and a half, on their way to 116. Right. and change. Now they're 120. Tom will come back on Monday and say, see, I should have bought bonds, and I can't listen to the bat, that kind of thing. But for me, bonds are they're a tough momentum play, and I'm not a momentum trader. So I look at the bonds as trying to get like a rhyme or reason onto what the market is doing, but there's no correlation between the bonds going higher and the market going higher, or opposite. There's no inverse correlation. Bonds have totally decoupled from the market. They're quite random. I don't even look at them, quite frankly, for a trading vehicle. IV rank is typically low. Right now, it's 26, about as high as it's been. So if there was a time to trade bonds, it might be now.
Julian, you got any bond thoughts? Do you trade bonds much?
I hate trading bonds. I know I should do it more just for the diversification, but it's like, excuse me, it's like trading some of the commodities like natty gas, like gold. When they move, they really move. And a lot of the times when I at least look at them, they're kind of attractive. It's when IV rank is like a little bit lower. Like right now it's 26, which is like, you could get into something like that, but it's low.
Yeah.
Its IV index is 21. I think for the 42, actually, no, I'm sorry. It's 12.6. I was looking at the 0 days. Mm-hmm. So the IV index is low, the expected range is tight, and then when you have a move like the last 3 days, it just, for me, like even with the relative volatility being higher, it doesn't necessarily compensate for the amount of risk there is depending on how the market uses these more speculatively. So that's for me, but I think it's something worth learning more about and trading strategies around them because, I mean, I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's a tough trade. I mean, I wanted to go directionally like when they've been, seemingly bottoming. It's just hard to figure out when that is. I mean, that's the case with everything. But my point is, we're in like the longest bear market for bonds, like almost ever, I think. I mean, it's like 46 months. And so there, that lends to wanting to make a directional play, right? Like it just does. Yep. And I think that's been the hard thing for me. So I guess it is back to trading a little bit of all. I did throw in a Condor yesterday and ZN, and we'll see how it plays out, honestly. But
good. I think it's the right time.
The other thing I noticed this week, Tesla was making moves around this vote thing. What do you guys think about that?
Man, I played Tesla to the long side. Tesla had been going sideways for quite some time, but for me, it went too far too fast. When you're selling both sides, even selling it skewed with long delta, you want the stock to go higher, but you want it to meander higher. You don't want it to pile drive higher. Stock was almost up $10 in the last 2 days. It's too big of a move. Had to roll up my puts. I'm in a little twisted in the wind in Tesla a little bit.
Yeah, with Tesla, I said this a couple weeks back. I said, I'm finally comfortable trading Tesla now because it seems like it's, excuse me, actually moving like an automotive stock and not a meme stock from like 2021. And now Tesla is Tesla-ing again. So I don't know. I think yesterday's move was pretty insightful to potentially some upcoming volatility. So I'm kind of holding off for a little bit until there's a little bit more data into how investors are feeling about this. But yeah, no, Tesla's back in the news now. It was kind of deady spaghetti for a while. So yeah, look at that.
Tesla's aggravating to me because I really should have done something that had no risk to the upside. And I talked about it on my podcast and decided because I had light amount of positions on to put more buying power to use and did both sides. And now I'm paying the price.
I mean, you had to give him the 55 billion, right? I mean, if not, it was probably
it was a 70 some odd % vote. But, I'm sitting in a room with Tom who thinks they shouldn't give it to him. And I'm thinking to myself, which, again, you should never do this. You should always go with your own instincts. Maybe I'm wrong here. Like, maybe I'm not seeing something, that he sees. But, again, he disappoints us, which is so common.
I was looking at, so I was learning a little bit about it yesterday. I like dabbling in analyst reports, not really trading off them much, but just to kind of see what, different analysts are looking at and how they're thinking about things. And I read an article about like a stock overhang, literally like an uncertainty around price estimates, like upcoming price estimates because of this, because Elon Musk said like, I'm either going to leave or maybe like dump everything into AI. And so investors weren't really sure, like, okay, so this could either go up, it could go down. It really depends on what happens. And now it seems like investors are a little more optimistic because hopefully the company's not going to go completely south. But yeah, I don't know. Tesla's Teslaing.
Like he said, like they said in Rounders, pay that man his money. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Last thing, last thing, a 2-for-1. AVGO is pulling NVIDIA, right? They had great earnings, and then they announced a 10-for-1 split. It seems a little long from now, though. I mean, it's July 15th from what I read that the split's going into effect. That seems a little long. I wonder how that's going to play out. And then, again, with the 2-for-1, you're talking about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is still continuing to move post-split. Like you said yesterday, Tone, I mean, it's been about $8 over the, probably 10 if it opens up at 130 today. I mean, that's basically a $100 move in the old NVIDIA.
Yeah. NVIDIA is doing its NVIDIA thing, right? And for me, I had that so good volatility. IV rank was in the close to 50, like 48 or so. It got into the high 20s, and I got piggish in NVIDIA. Now IV rank on the way up with the stock is getting close to 35 again. I got a lot of work to do in NVIDIA. I gave back about $1.50 in profits.